Okay, so this one has been requested by one of my recent subscribers, and I just took a shower. The top 10 best Monsterverse moments. I didn't have any interest in reacting to this and stuff, but somebody requested it, so why not?
It almost sounds like you're protecting them, Dr. Shirazawa, as if you admire them.
These are Titans we're talking about, so yeah, they tend to make a big impression. Welcome to Watch Mojo.
Yep.
And today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Monsterverse moments. For this list, we're looking at 2014's Godzilla, 2017's Kong Skull Island, and 2019's Godzilla King of the Monsters in order to highlight some of the very best moments from this cinematic universe. Please note, given the nature of this list, there is a major spoiler alert in effect.
The arrogance of man is thinking nature is in our control, and not the other way around. Let them fight.
Number 10, Godzilla Rises from the Sea. Godzilla. Toho films might be popular with Godzilla enthusiasts, but for the average North American viewer, chances are they hadn't seen the colossal reptile since the 1998 film. Suffice it to say, Godzilla's return to the big screen was long awaited, and he made an entrance worthy of his time away.
Outside, 200 meters!
As soldiers look out over the horizon, a series of massive, spiny protrusions pierce the water, cutting towards them like some sort of primordial nightmare shark. But when the creature stops and proceeds to dive, that's when you realize that wasn't even Godzilla's back. It was just his tail. Reaching the bridge, Godzilla finally rises from the water to reveal his full size. And it's almost impossible to comprehend.
It is kind of funny that while in the bridge scene, they did a jump scare with the bird that made me jump a couple times.
Number 9, Mothra saves Godzilla. Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Over the course of the films, it's made clear that despite his destructive methods, Godzilla is a savior of sorts. That being said, no one would call him cute or sentimental. And as for the rest of the Titans, well, even less so. That's what makes this moment between Godzilla and Mothra so special. After pulling off one of the smoothest sneak attacks in kaiju cinema history, a badly wounded Mothra flies over to a recently fallen Godzilla. We know that the beautiful Titan shares a symbiotic relationship with Godzilla, but this scene makes it clear that their dynamic is more than just mutually beneficial. She treats him with tenderness and care, before sacrificing herself so that he can continue the fight.
I actually do love that they kept some of the Mothra sound effects. And, hang on, what was I supposed to say? It's also funny that Godzilla and Mothra has fought each other in several films. Like the first Godzilla, like the shower in Heisei Godzilla vs. Mothra, and Giant Monsters All Out Attack, and Tokyo SOS. It's kind of funny that Godzilla and Mothra fight each other sometimes. But yeah, in this film, they're pretty much partners. If you, that's the best way I could put it.
Number 8, Rodan versus the Air Force. Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
I got a gold squadron. Let's lure this turkey away from the mainland straight to Monster Zero. ETA in 2 minutes.
Gold squadron, engage on our 6th.
Rodan's return is truly an incredible sight to behold. Waking from his dormant state, the fire demon rises from the volcano in a fiery explosion worthy of Pompeii. The force of his wing beat is enough to create hurricane-like gusts of wind with devastating effect. But as the Air Force learns, that is nothing compared to the threat he poses when he actually starts hunting.
Bogey, 9 o'clock high.
Rodan targets the USS Argo and its accompanying fighter jets. For all their expert maneuvers and modern tech, they don't stand a chance.
Nope. I mean, not only is Rodan big, but he's way too fast by the looks of it. And I remember in Godzilla Final Wars, he was on top of the tower, Rodan, and he just flies over creating hurricanes and blowing shit up like jeez. The Monsterverse movies is more concerned with creating weight, actual weight to the monsters, like everything they do, trying to be as realistic as possible.
Though it's bleak for the humans involved, the scene is tense and thrilling. A particularly epic, albeit grisly moment, comes when a pilot ejects from his plane only to immediately meet the jaws of Rodan. Gulp. Number 7. Kong vs. Skullcrawlers. Kong, Skull Island.
Okay.
It's time to give some love to everyone's favorite mammalian titan. In the climactic battle of 2017's Skull Island, the Alpha Skullcrawler, or the Big One as Marlowe calls it, finally rises to do battle with Kong. Though the giant ape can generally hold his own against the smaller Skullcrawlers, this fight nearly proves too much for Kong. Thankfully, he gets some assistance from his human allies and ultimately triumphs. But before delivering a fatal tonsillectomy to his creepy-crawly adversary, Kong trades bone-crunching, brutal blows with the Skullcrawler in a big-screen battle for the ages.
Gosh, I just love that. I just love that whip thing he did. That's a convenient boat. And also, at first I thought that King Kong is actually going to do the iconic jaw opening like he did with the dinosaurs. Or the T-Rex or the V-Rex. He did that in a couple of Kong films. He did it in the 30s. He did it in 2005. But shockingly, he doesn't do it here, even though it kind of would have been cool. But I can't complain, because the fight's still pretty epic as hell.
We knew Kong could throw down, but it was particularly interesting to see him use tools to get the upper hand. Number 6. Mothra's Transformation. Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Most of the titans we met in Godzilla King of the Monsters are best described as downright terrifying, but Mothra feels like a different sort of creature. A reminder that for all their sharp spiny bits, claws, and gnashing teeth, the titans can also be beautiful. Even in her larval form after bursting forth from her egg, Mothra is sort of cute. When she later emerges from her cocoon behind the waterfall, however, the scene is downright stunning. Emitting an otherworldly blue light and beating her massive wings, Mothra looks like a true work of art. No wonder ancient civilizations worshipped the creature as a god. There is definitely something divine about being in her presence.
Beautiful.
Mothra, Queen of the Monsters.
Number 5.
Yeah, Mothra can be pretty stunning. And yeah, Mothra is pretty much the good gal. She's the type where if you don't mess with her, like kidnap the fairies in the Toho films and stuff, like if you don't mess with her or do anything bad, like using Godzilla's bones to make a giant robot and stuff like that, you should be fine. And it's nice that Mothra is not such a terrifying creature like Shin Godzilla. Because, let's face it, Mothra is a good guy or gal. And she needs to look beautiful and stuff. She's like a goddess of whatnot.
Mothra, Queen of the Monsters. monsters.
Number 5. Kong versus the Helicopters. Kong, Skull Island.
Oh, that is a pretty good shot.
Kong is king on Skull Island, and he takes none too kindly to outsiders. Apparently, that goes double for flying machines that appear to be attacking his home. Part of what makes this sudden attack so big in terms of impact is the setup. Paranoid by Black Sabbath plays over an exciting montage of the team carrying out their explosive research. And then, seemingly out of nowhere, the world is upended when a tree comes flying into one of the helicopters. Kong quickly proceeds to take down the choppers with brutal efficiency, and with most of it being shown from the perspective of one of the helicopters as it goes down. It makes for a uniquely harrowing experience.
That was a nice transition.
Number 4. Halo Jump. Godzilla.
That's why we'll be conducting a halo insertion. Jumping altitude will be 30,000 feet. Just skate to the top and drop. Here and here.
Given all the kaiju action that the Monsterverse delivers, these films could easily settle for run-of-the-mill cinematography. But as we just saw with Kong and the helicopters, these filmmakers like getting creative. This is perhaps the most visually arresting sequence from the 2014 film, and it doesn't even involve the titular creature until the very end. In this scene, soldiers perform a halo jump, and their descent will take your breath away. Like warrior angels falling from heaven, they leave behind a beautiful sunny horizon, piercing the clouds to enter hell on Earth. The red smoke of their flares adds to the visual drama, while the first-person perspective of the fall adds an intense sense of claustrophobia. When Godzilla comes into view, it is shiver-inducing. Number
Okay, I'm not sure why we couldn't hear Godzilla's roar there, even though he's right close to him. But that Halo jump scene, it was pretty much in the teaser for this. And the Halo jump is one of the most spine-chilling scenes I've ever seen. It gives you like goosebumps. The clouds, the setup, the first-person perspective, the music, and a little bit of the choir that's singing or whatnot. I mean, it kind of looks like a horror scene or something. Well, it may not be a horror scene, but damn. The lighting, the clouds, the first-person perspective, the music, it's pure perfection. It is intense and spine-chilling as hell.
Number 3. The death of Dr. Ishiro Serizawa. Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Sometimes, the only way to heal our wounds is to make peace with the demons who created them.
The Monsterverse knows how to deliver satisfying battles, but it also manages to keep its stories grounded in human emotion. For all those who fear and hate him, Godzilla also has a fair number of fans, but none bigger than Dr. Ishiro Serizawa.
The only question is, what part will we play?
Did you just make that up?
No, I already did a fortune cookie once.
The character is named for the hugely influential original Godzilla director Ishiro Honda and Dr. Serizawa, the scientist who similarly sacrificed himself in the 1954 film.
世界の為政者たちが黙って見ているはずがないんだ。必ずこれを武器として使用するに決まっている。
The original Dr. Serizawa died defeating Godzilla and protecting the secrets of his oxygen destroyer. In a nice inversion of this, Ken Watanabe's Dr. Ishiro Serizawa dies in an intimate moment with a wounded Godzilla, detonating a bomb not to kill the creature, but to help him recover. It's an incredibly touching moment between man and Titan.
さらば、捕まえよ。
Number
Ironic. Dr. Serizawa the only character to return from 1954 for the remake, helps Godzilla. When in the original, he killed Godzilla with the oxygen destroyer.
Number 2. All Hail the King. Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Some might have found this scene to be a bit cheesy, but we think it's important to remember the campy roots of the franchise. Since first making his presence felt on the big screen in 1954, Godzilla and his kaiju peers have rarely shied away from overly dramatic moments, nor have the filmmakers avoided bold creative decisions. And so, we think this moment is perfectly epic and befitting of the franchise. Having defeated Ghidorah, Godzilla has re-established his dominance as the Alpha, and so the various titans assemble around him to make their signs of submission. Letting out a mighty roar, a victorious Godzilla firmly re-establishes his title as King of the Monsters. Honestly, this was a tough list to rank. I mean, how do you choose between giant monster battles? They're all awesome. Plus, we had to throw any important emotional moments in there too. Bah, so what do you think? Do you think number 1 is a big fight or a more moving moment? Let's see some honorable mentions before we check out what's at the top spot.
Oh, that was one of the best post-credit scenes ever. Oh, that is a great moment too in the movie.
Not quite at the end yet. Rates the Muto, Godzilla. Though there was plenty of epic kaiju action in King of the Monsters, there's no single moment in the Monsterverse that feels better executed than this one from the 2014 film. After duking it out with the various Mutos, Godzilla finally goes down under the weight of a collapsing building. Without Godzilla to stop her, the massive female Muto pursues forward. But just as she's about to end the soldier's life, an exhausted Godzilla manages to come to the rescue. Again. Our heroic titan not only delivers a killing blow, but also showcases his creativity in the process.
We don't see Godzilla ever do that. Which
Simply perfect.
I mean, I'll give the movie this. Using the atomic breath at the mouth, it's not something we see often. I mean, it's one thing to just jump to the creature's mouth and then stab it on the inside, God of War 3. But to use the atomic breath, that's actually kind of awesome to see. And some people might wonder why Godzilla doesn't use his atomic breath much in the 2014 movie. Uses it twice, and in the 2019 King of the Monsters movie, he uses it more often. I looked up at Wiki that the Muto's EMP blast is basically just stops the atomic breath. It just shuts down. Not sure why they didn't put that in the movie, but whatever. Now, I will admit, I kind of wish that they would just wait until Godzilla vs. Kong. before putting up the top 10 best Monsterverse moments. But I digress. I just cannot wait to see Godzilla vs. Kong. Out of all the rematches, this is the one we've been waiting for in a long time. Godzilla and Mothra had rematches. Godzilla King Ghidorah had rematches. And there was some one-off monsters that appears in comics and even 1 or 2 games. But Godzilla vs. Kong fighting the second time around, this may be one of the biggest rematches of all time. Thank you guys for watching. Consider liking and subscribing. And have a good day or night, depending on what time you're watching this stuff.